But in video games, we also play little demons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bad guys.
When you play a 30-foot dragon, that's a good day. Because there are days, and also we've said it before. I mean,
I've done it.
yeah, take that pitch shift and bring it down. It's pretty awesome, you know. And of course, as a villain, you're screaming a lot like the dragon, but in a low voice, and they pitch it down. And we call it scream therapy. If you're having a bad day or things aren't going right, screaming into a little microphone in a booth for an hour.
It is therapeutic.
It feels just right.
I've screamed so much that I cried.
Like it brought up emotions.
Yes, I told you about that. I played Camilla in the Full Metal Alchemist video game.
Oh, yeah.
And I cried during that. I was kicking some serious booty. And I tried to, they killed me, and I was really upset.
Wow.
Wow.
Did you take that from Cynthia too?
I think I did.
I think she did too.
Camilla.
I recast myself. I was doing one role, and I'm like, you really need Wendy Powell for this. That's just not in my range. And Mike McFarlane called Wendy Powell.
What was the role?
I don't remember, but he was like, give me your best Clint Eastwood. I was like, I don't have one of those, but Wendy Powell does.
I think we're keying into the secret of their friendship, everybody.
Keep them coming, Cynthia.
Yeah, let me give you
That's
some
okay.
more.
She introduced me to my husband. It all works out.
Oh.
I did.
That's right.
Did.
Larry.
Larry.
Larry is still single, guys.
City and Place.
Yes?
Are there any villains that you really wanted to play that you didn't get to?
Everyone. I mean, every character. Like, well, I'm a big Helsing fan, so any villain Helsing would be good. Because I love that show. I'm a friend. Taliesin, who directed that show, did a great job. I just saw him the other day, and we were talking about Helsing actually. And, that's just one of the shows that I like. So pretty much, if you just pick a show that you like, and then the villain in that show, and then it's that one. That's how it works for me. But yeah, there's been a lot of really cool villains. And by the way, speaking of them, I really believe that you're the character of Maleficent, right? One of my favorite villains of all time. This one could do Maleficent like that. I think she would be an opposite Maleficent. So if they do like Sleeping Beauty 7 direct to DVD, as they do.
It would have to be direct to DVD for me to even get the gig, right? Cynthia would have the gig first.
Yeah. You can introduce her to another husband. Is it over? Oh.
There's a ton of roles. What was that show that you did that had the two chicks that played with the queen and the queen's decoy?
That was...
I'm gonna that and I didn't get it.
that was Coach Videos, actually.
It was the director. So really a beef I have with you, I guess.
Well, we can just add that to the... Hold on, we add that to the list. There's only 700. That's the key to our friendship, guys. Anger. Yes?
How do you get to a character such as Wendy?
Well, I do my push-ups and my
This is
sit-ups.
background work. Backstory.
Yeah. Well, it was especially challenging. Like a show like Full Metal Alchemist or Dragon Ball Z is especially unique in that there's so much time elapsed in between. I mean, doing Full Metal Alchemist and then other stuff, and then coming back to Brotherhood was like a really long. It was like going to school, and then there's a summer, and then you come back from summer break and do it again. And it was really, but of course,
There's just a 4-year break, right? Is it 3 years or 4 years?
I think at least 4, yeah.
So that we didn't do it at all.
Yeah.
That's
And of course, in Brotherhood, Gluttony has more to do. This whole thing, which I like quite a bit. But I think coming back to doing Brotherhood, we had to use a lot of references and have the director play reference lines to kind of key in and get back to what it was like. But after an hour or two, it all comes back like.
I talked to you right after, remember, right after you did Gluttony again for the first time. I said, how was it? Because I think you recorded it before me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, after about 20, 30 minutes,
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because I was nervous about it too. I was like, what are we going to do?
I did some lyrics then.
I did some lyrics and stuff.
But yeah, and you know, because when you work on anime, you don't get an opportunity to go in and you don't see the script beforehand, of course, so you come in fresh. You may be familiar with the original production, but in terms of the English script, you've never seen it before. which is actually unique to any other kind of acting at all, where you come in completely blind and you're seeing eye dog as a director. And so, you know, I prepared as much as I could. I did vocal warm-ups and stuff as I usually do before recording. But then as far as getting into it, it just takes going through a few scenes and doing it for 15, 20 minutes, and then you go, oh yeah, and you remember. So that's what it was like for me. And I guess was similar to that.
Absolutely. My voice has been damaged and everything since then, but it worked because Brotherhood was like harsher and just had kind of an edge to it. Envy blew up. And it was good because my voice was blown out, so it worked fine for the character. I really liked the story of Brotherhood better, so I was looking forward to kind of seeing what happened as we went along, you know? I like the fact that we don't know what happens until we get in the movie. And I hate when people tell me. Everyone told me what was going to happen to me. And then when it showed up, I was like, this is it. Some jerk kid told me about this.
She calls me sad that she's gonna die
All
every
the
time
time.
she records it. I've seen the last of Envy. Right.
Spoiler alert.
No, you ruined it.
Yeah, it's good like that.
Yes?
I know, but on the bright side, I know you're the
There is no bright side.
envy, no pun intended, of Ed Fangirls because of the way you got to see him when you walked in on him naked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was
So
awkward.
where and envy in disguise walks into the room.
I was there. I remember. I'm always there. Remember when? Yep, I do.
You had a question right back there.
Well, you had said you were a big fan of, yeah. What about YouTube? Is there a villain you play?
What was the first one? A big fan of what?
You were a big fan of, Maleficent.
All right.
I was wondering if the girls have any performance they haven't got to play, they would have liked.
Miss Merry Christmas.
That ship has sailed.
I want to play that anyone will give to me. I want to yell.
I would love, I don't really know if Roz is the villain for Monsters Inc., but I sure wish I could have played Roz for Monsters Inc. I love that role. And I love, is it Edna? What is the costume designer?
Edna.
God, I love that role. Yeah.
Not necessarily a villain, but an awesome brilliant. You know, I feel.
I don't know what they are, what those characters are, but I play a character called Irma in Birdie
Yeah,
that I really, really love.
That's my
And-
favorite thing. One of my favorite
And it's just fun. I don't know if they're villains. I don't know what they are. They're just, what is that?
like her.
Like the Irma, the Roz, the
Anti-hero? It's sort of that, where it's not a bad guy.
It's not a good guy.
No. It's a devious supporting character that's not bent on the destruction of the protagonist. That was a long way.
That's probably my favorite. Whatever that is what this damn panel just turned into.
See? That's why we're friends. And by the way, I'm sitting up here. This is a. She is so.
That's what we're doing!
This is going to be someone's mom one day. Sorry, Charlie. I mean, Morley. I don't know about you guys, but I feel so bad for Cynthia. I want to have Cynthia. We'll have a little party.
Let her say
I'm just taking it in.
We'll have a little party, and we'll have Cynthia be Miss Mary Christmas. We'll turn the volume down on the TV, and she can finally do her character. I feel bad that she's not that character she likes. Yes?
Do you ever feel like you kind of bring your own self into when you do Envy because Envy's kind of into that?
Oh, yeah.
But I mean that in a good way. Envy's kind of evil.
I like how snotty it is. Yeah. Nope. I cried when it died. I don't know what's happening over here, but I want to know.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering how you stay in villainous character, like keeping all of that, those sort of antipodal emotions and everything at the forefront. Like
It is kind of physically tiring. It really is kind of physically tiring to record it. I was texting Cason the whole time I was recording the last of Dimby, and I was like, I'm gonna die. I am so tired. My body hurts. He's like, he was the same way when you did it. It's tiring.
Yeah, it is. Because
It's really tiring.
That's the only problem with, unlike the protagonist who, well, they fight timidly usually, and it usually ends up well for them. The villain inevitably,
They don't die.
Yeah, they don't die. In other words, the villain inevitably has not only fights, but usually gets physically brutalized often, and then eventually dies with a death knell and all kinds of stuff. So it is tiring after a while, and that's what's funny about just being in a room, and even just, whether it's a good guy or bad guy, just the act of screaming, fighting, all that stuff. In addition to the fact that we are moving around anyway, it is physically tiring after a while. You feel like you've been jogging or something, you're sweaty, you're red-faced, or is that just me because I'm in awesome shape? But you got the idea.
I usually emulate what I see the drawn character doing to try to get into it. If she's standing like this, or and then sometimes you flail around in the booth and get in trouble for being loud. But it is tiring because you are using your body, your mind, everything.
Yeah.
And if it's a voice where you have to pitch it in a weird place, sometimes they'll try to get you to do a 3 or 4 hour session, and you can't. At least I can't.
Yeah, that is just another thing. Yeah, villains often, unlike the protagonist, which is usually the male or
The voice is more natural.
it's more natural. It's usually the male or female speaking voice, and you slightly up to be a little younger or whatever. But usually the villain's voice is also monstrous in some way, or a little more difficult, placed in a strange spot, and so therefore that's also taxing. Not necessarily painful, but to keep it where it should be is a little difficult.
And the thing with Cason, he is, I don't know so much about the villain thing, but he is our resident creature. He does all the creatures. No, he does. He does our little marmots and whatever we got going on. He usually does those characters, and they are really hard to do. I mean, they're just hard on your voice to do all those little weird creatures, but he's really good at it. It's hard.
DBC boot camp. Gardening razor blades.